back to the Esther Effect. This is Caleb. Caleb's going to be sharing his testimony today. Woo!
Hi, my name is Caleb. I grew up in Southern California. My parents were pastors, and so I grew up in the religion and Christianity. Never had any real relationship with God, but I knew I loved Jesus as a kid. I grew up having a concept of God, but I never had a real relationship with Him. When I was a teenager, my parents moved from Southern California to Omaha, Nebraska, and my life totally got turned around. Shortly after we moved, my parents got divorced and my dad came out as a homosexual, and my idea of God, my idea of religion, my idea of faith completely got diminished. Everything that I thought that I knew about God just got thrown out the window, and I became an atheist, stopped believing in God, stopped believing in any God that loved me or anything out there that was there to help me or anything along those lines. When I was 13 years old, I had my first trip to the hospital for a suicide attempt because I was clinically depressed. I had suffered with depression from the ages of 12 until the age of 18. And over the course of that time, I tried to commit suicide 6 different times. I hated life, I hated everything to do with it. I didn't have any friends, and I was completely alone. I would often go to bed every night, crying myself to sleep. I would wake up every day just planning on different ways in which I would kill myself, different ways in which I would end my life, because I had no hope. There was nothing in my life that I was looking forward to. I had no plan after high school, and I expected to be dead by 20 by my own hands. At the time, I was going through constant therapy, going through coping techniques, going to different classes, going to different things in order to help me become better, in order to prevent myself from harming myself. I was on 8 different medications at the time, antidepressants, anti-anxiety. I would wake up every morning with a panic attack before I go to school, feeling like I was going to have a heart attack every single morning. When I was coming out of my 6th hospital attempt, my mom made an agreement with the doctor that they wouldn't release me unless I agreed to go to a youth group that, at the church she had been attending. When I went to the youth group, I had an encounter with the Holy Spirit, and I had an encounter with God that changed my life. I felt like God was telling me to go up front to the altar, and I didn't know it was God at the time, but I just felt like I needed to go up to the altar, and it was before, there wasn't even an altar call or anything like that, but I ended up going up front, and as I went up front, the power of God came and completely surrounded me with His love. It felt kind of like electricity just coming through my body, and I just started laughing hysterically and crying at the same time. I was bawling my eyes out, but at the same time I was laughing like crazy. I had been filled with this feeling of joy, and it was the first time I'd ever felt that in over 8 years. And I was laughing hysterically, and I was like that until 3 in the morning. The next day, they ended up, the church people there ended up helping me get home and helping me get in bed, and I woke up the next morning saying, Jesus, if this is you, then I want to follow you the rest of my life. I told him, I said, if this is real, then I don't want to take any of my medication anymore. And so I stopped all my medication cold turkey, the 8 different medications I was on, and I never had any effects. And to this day, that was about 5 years ago, and to this day I've been following Jesus, and He's absolutely changed my life. I've never had a moment of depression or suicide, and I've been totally set free.